He actually caught HIV, like having like a lot of women.
In the past few weeks, the internet has gone into full meltdown mode over one name, Sean Diddy Combs. Ever since reports confirmed that Diddy was being held in a New York detention facility, social media has been flooded with rumors, speculation, and unverified claims about what is allegedly happening behind bars. And once those rumors started circulating, they didn't stay contained. They exploded. Commentary channels, live streamers, gossip blogs, and anonymous accounts all began pushing narratives that range from questionable to outright extreme. Some claimed Diddy was placed under special watch. Others suggested there were incidents involving contraband inside the facility. None of these claims have been officially confirmed by authorities, but that hasn't stopped the internet from running wild. And this is how these stories usually begin, not with facts, not with court documents, but with speculation, repetition, and outrage. As clips spread across TikTok, X, and YouTube Shorts, people began stitching together unrelated stories about prison conditions, inmate behavior, and past celebrity scandals, all loosely tied to Diddy's name. The louder the claims became, the more they were shared. And then came the health rumors. Online personalities began speculating about Diddy's appearance during court appearances, pointing out weight loss, stress, and visible aging. Some viewers interpreted this as the toll of incarceration. Others jumped to far more dramatic conclusions, suggesting medical issues without evidence. Again, no verification. But in gossip culture, verification often comes last, if at all. At the same time, old clips resurfaced from years ago discussing Diddy's party lifestyle, something that has followed him in rumors for decades. Stories about exclusive gatherings, unpredictable schedules, and excess were revived and reframed as evidence of darker behavior. This wasn't new information. What was new was the context. Once someone becomes legally vulnerable, every past rumor suddenly feels confirmed in the court of public opinion, even when nothing new has been proven. And that's when the commentary escalated. Certain viral videos began making sweeping claims about prison culture in general, suggesting that inmates intentionally spread illness or engage in reckless behavior. These claims were not tied to Diddy by officials, but they were attached to his name anyway. That's how internet narratives work. They don't require proof, just momentum. Then came the shock clips. Short-form videos appeared claiming inside information from unnamed inmates, unnamed guards, unnamed sources close to the situation. These clips were often dramatic, emotionally charged, and framed as urgent warnings. No sources, no documents, no confirmation, but millions of views. At the same time, commentary personalities began revisiting older industry critics. People who had spoken out against the music business long before Diddy's current legal troubles. And one name kept coming up: Jaguar Wright. Jaguar Wright has spent years publicly criticizing the music industry, claiming that powerful figures hide misconduct behind money and influence. In recent interviews, she repeated those claims with renewed intensity, implying that certain truths were being hidden and that more information could surface. She did not present evidence during these appearances. She did not name names directly, but the internet filled in the blanks anyway. Suddenly, social media users began drawing lines between unrelated stories, old lawsuits, past interviews, and unverified leaks. Each repost added confidence. Each stitch added drama. And before long, the narrative became larger than any single claim. It became a story people wanted to believe. This is how reputations are rewritten in real time. Because once enough people accept a narrative, facts struggle to catch up. Old interviews were reinterpreted, past mentorship stories were reframed, industry programs that were once discussed openly were now viewed through suspicion. And the louder the speculation grew, the harder it became to separate what is documented, what is alleged, and what is pure internet fiction. That's the danger of moments like this, because while some allegations connected to Diddy are part of verified legal cases, many others are not. Yet they blend together online as if they carry equal weight, and that blending is what keeps these stories alive. By the end of the week, the conversation was no longer just about Diddy. It was about the entire industry, about power, about silence, about who gets protected, and about whether the truth ever really comes out. And that's where this story moves next. Because once the internet starts asking bigger questions, it doesn't stop at one name. Once the internet locked onto Diddy's name, it didn't stop at prison rumors. It rarely does. Instead, the conversation began expanding outward, pulling in older lawsuits, resurfaced interviews, leaked emails, and long-standing industry gossip that had existed for years but suddenly felt new again. This is how internet narratives evolve. They don't move in straight lines. They spiral. And as that spiral grows, names that were once mentioned quietly begin trending loudly. One of the first names pulled back into the discussion was Usher. This didn't happen out of nowhere. For years, Usher's early career has been publicly linked to Sean Combs through mentorship programs and industry development camps in the 1990s. Usher himself has spoken openly in interviews about living at Diddy's home as a teenager as part of his exposure to the music industry. At the time those interviews were originally released, they were framed as stories of opportunity, an ambitious young artist being immersed in the lifestyle of a successful producer to learn the business. Today, however, many viewers are revisiting those same interviews through a very different lens. Not because new evidence has emerged, but because context has changed. Clips that once felt casual now feel uncomfortable to some viewers. Jokes that once landed lightly now feel awkward. Stories that were once framed as mentorship are now being reinterpreted by audiences who are far more skeptical of power dynamics in the entertainment industry. And it's important to be clear here, reinterpretation is not proof. But in the world of online gossip, reinterpretation is powerful. That's when older legal issues involving Usher were pulled back into the spotlight. Public records show that Usher faced civil lawsuits in the past related to health disclosures in romantic relationships. Those cases were addressed through the legal system.
Damn. Shout out to Magic Johnson, a real black billionaire who wasn't all freaked off, who actually made business, bank exchange, created dollars in real black neighborhoods so real black families could have that opportunity just like everybody else.
Years ago, with no criminal convictions tied to them. Still, on social media, timelines don't matter. To many viewers, old lawsuits suddenly felt connected to new rumors, even when there is no legal link between them. And then came the emails. Screenshots of alleged emails connected to publishing discussions around Kim Porter's writings began circulating again. These emails have never been authenticated in court, but they were treated by many online commentators as confirmation of long-standing rumors about the industry. The language in those emails, whether real or fabricated, was explosive enough to ignite speculation. Mentions of hidden relationships, recordings, and conflicts were taken as proof by some viewers, despite the lack of verification. This is the moment where rumor becomes receipt in internet culture. Not because it's proven, but because it feels specific, and specificity convinces people. Adding to the momentum were interviews from self-identified former associates, people claiming to have worked closely with Diddy during his peak years. These individuals described what they said was a chaotic, party-driven environment marked by unpredictability, excess, and pressure.
The Tusi.
Yeah, the Tusi, that's what they got.
I found out, I talked to my guy. Because I wanted to be informed, because people was calling it Tusi, that's calling it the Tunchi. I didn't know which one it was. So I talked to my guy, and my guy filled me in. And then it made perfect sense. Tusi.
Talk to him.
With Jaguar.
Let's talk.
Education.
101.
So Tusi is the but they take the ketamine and cook it up. I've been saying it.
Yeah.
How many times I got some This is wild. Young Miami can take all that pressure. She on it too.
Sure. One former assistant, in particular, gained attention after describing duties he claimed included preparing hotel rooms, managing supplies, and responding to last-minute demands. These accounts have not been verified by law enforcement, but they aligned closely enough with existing rumors that audiences treated them as confirmation. This is another key point. When new claims match old gossip, people assume truth, even without evidence. And once that assumption takes hold, every additional story becomes more proof. At the same time, Jaguar Wright continued making headlines. Wright has positioned herself as an industry truth teller for years, openly accusing the music business of hiding exploitation and abuse. In recent interviews, she escalated her rhetoric, implying that she knows the identities of multiple individuals involved in serious misconduct. She did not present documentation. She did not provide names on record, but she spoke with certainty, and certainty is persuasive, especially when audiences already feel disillusioned with Hollywood and the music industry. Clips of Wright's interviews were clipped aggressively, stripped of context, and paired with dramatic captions. In many cases, the original framing, allegations, opinions, personal beliefs was lost entirely. Instead, viewers were left with bold statements presented as fact. That's how misinformation spreads, not necessarily through lies, but through compression. Nuance disappears, disclaimers vanish, and what remains is outrage. As the narrative expanded, people began tying these rumors to broader cultural distrust of celebrity power. Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy, one of the few verified legal actions, played a major role in this shift. Because for many viewers, Cassie's detailed allegations validated years of whispers. Even though one case does not confirm every rumor, it changed perception. It made people more willing to believe that something dark could exist behind the scenes. And once belief sets in, skepticism fades. That's when prison rumors gained traction again. Suddenly, any claim, no matter how extreme, felt plausible to some audiences. Anonymous sources were treated as insiders. TikTok videos were treated as investigative journalism, and comment sections became echo chambers reinforcing the same narrative. This is how the internet turned speculation into common knowledge, not through evidence, but through repetition. And it's why separating fact from fiction becomes nearly impossible once a story reaches this stage, because by then, the story isn't about truth anymore. It's about trust. And right now, trust in the entertainment industry is at an all-time low. People don't trust publicists, they don't trust statements, they don't trust silence, so they fill the gaps themselves. And whether those conclusions are fair or not, they stick. By the end of this phase, the narrative around Diddy was no longer limited to verified allegations or legal proceedings. It had become a symbol of everything people believe is wrong with celebrity culture: excess, power, lack of accountability, silence. And once someone becomes a symbol, the facts struggle to matter, because symbols are easier to hate than complicated realities. This is the danger and the power of moments like this. And it's exactly why the conversation doesn't stop here. Because once the internet reframes someone as part of a larger pattern, it starts asking a much bigger question. Is this about one man or an entire system? That's where this story heads next. By the time a story reaches this stage, it's no longer just about one person. That's the part many people miss. What we're witnessing right now isn't simply another celebrity controversy. It's something deeper. It's the collision of distrust, technology, and long-suppressed conversation all happening at once. And that's why this moment feels different. In the past, Hollywood survived scandals by waiting them out. Time was its greatest defense. Public attention faded, headlines moved on, and eventually, the system reset itself. That strategy worked in a world where information was controlled by a handful of outlets, but that world no longer exists. Today, the public doesn't just consume stories, they archive them. Old interviews don't disappear. Deleted clips are saved, Screenshots live forever, and narratives that once could be buried now resurface whenever the context changes. That's exactly what's happening now. When people revisit old interviews, lawsuits, commentary, and rumors, they're not just reacting emotionally. They're comparing timelines. They're asking why certain things were ignored, why certain voices were dismissed, why patterns weren't questioned sooner. And that curiosity is what Hollywood has always feared. Because curiosity leads to scrutiny, and scrutiny doesn't care about celebrity status. One of the biggest shifts we're seeing is that audiences no longer separate art from power the way they once did. People aren't just asking whether someone made good music or successful films. They're asking how that success was achieved, who benefited, and who may have been silenced along the way. This doesn't mean every rumor is true. It means the audience is no longer willing to accept surface-level explanations. And that's a major problem for an industry built on image. For decades, Hollywood functioned on aspiration. Fame was presented as the ultimate reward. Access was currency. Silence was the cost of admission. But now, silence looks suspicious. When no one responds, people assume there's something to hide. When statements feel rehearsed, people question their sincerity. When accusations are dismissed too quickly, people wonder why. This is the environment we're in now, and it explains why even unverified claims gain traction so fast. Because people no longer trust the institutions that used to tell them what was credible. They trust patterns, they trust consistency, they trust the idea that where there's smoke, there might be fire, even if they can't see the flames yet. That's why stories like this don't fade anymore. They evolve. They branch out. They absorb new details. They pull in old names. And eventually, they stop being about guilt or innocence and start being about systems. Systems of power, systems of protection, systems of silence. And that's the real reason Hollywood feels exposed right now. Not because every allegation has been proven, but because the illusion of control has cracked. Hollywood used to decide which stories mattered. Now the audience does. And once that power shifts, it doesn't go back. This doesn't mean justice is guaranteed. It doesn't mean accountability is automatic. It doesn't mean the truth will always win. But it does mean the conversation can't be shut down the way it once was. Every attempt to suppress discussion now backfires. Every dismissal fuels more curiosity. Every denial invites deeper digging. And that's a dangerous cycle for any institution that relies on reputation. Because reputation depends on belief, and belief is fragile. We've reached a point where people are no longer asking, who should we believe? They're asking, why do these stories keep repeating? Why do so many former insiders say similar things? Why do accusations cluster around power? Why does accountability take decades, if it comes at all? These are uncomfortable questions. And Hollywood has never been comfortable with discomfort. What happens next is impossible to predict. Some stories will be proven false. Some claims will collapse under scrutiny. Some allegations will never be substantiated, but others may lead to real consequences. And the audience understands that now. They understand that truth isn't always clean, simple, or immediate, that it often arrives slowly, unevenly, and imperfectly. But they also understand something else. Silence no longer protects power, and that's the shift that matters most. This moment isn't about destroying an industry. It's about forcing it to confront itself. Whether Hollywood adapts, resists, or deflects will determine how this chapter is remembered. But one thing is already clear. The spotlight isn't leaving. Not next week, not next month, not after the next headline. Because people are paying attention now. And attention is the one thing power can't control once it's lost. So as more interviews resurface, as more documents circulate, as more voices speak up, the conversation continues. And whether you believe every claim, some of them, or none at all, the fact that the conversation is happening matters. Because history doesn't change when people are silent. It changes when people ask questions and refuse to stop asking them. If this breakdown made you think, if it challenged how you see fame, power, and the entertainment industry. Like this video so more people can find it. Share it so others can hear the conversation and decide for themselves. And subscribe to I Love Gossip for more deep dives, long-form breakdowns, and stories the mainstream can't stop talking about. Turn on notifications, because this story is still unfolding. And trust me, this isn't the end. I'll see you in the next one.